So this is the tour of my mask collection that I'm finally feeling good for, so I can get started on. So walking into the house, and here's my little section. So starting off, you've got this little thing, which really doesn't look like much. You got scissors, comb, brushes, and belt buckle. But there is a great family history story behind this, where my great grandfather on my mother's side fought in World War One, and the group he was with, I'm getting a cool reflection in this thing that's messing with me, and you can see my fallout shelter sign there. The group he was with, basically they were cornered by this German sniper group. My great grandfather, he crawled through the trenches, got behind them using this spyglass he had, and he took them all out, got some medals for it, and this is the gear from one of the guys that he killed, is the barber for the group. Then, this is recruitment poster thing, I think that's what it is. That's actually him right there, which is the main reason we have it, so that's pretty cool. Some nice illustrations, cool planes and stuff. Nothing special in here, except again that Fallout Shelter poster. But in here, well, immediately you see my section with the favorite masks, hand-stitched American flag and this pretty cool wooden eagle. But turning around, we've got a Fallout 4 poster that the light is hitting in a bad way. But then my Plague Doc mask, a fez that I have for some reason, some binoculars, hat. But then my entire book collection, ranging from the Revolutionary War to Civil War. That's what these guys are: Civil War, Revolutionary War, and this pretty cool model cannon. Then down to World War One, World War Two, then down to Cold War and more or less modern times, and this one on the bottom shelf. And here we have good old Hazmat here in a guitar case that I don't know why it's here. This mattress, when I was getting the collection out of the boxes, was in the middle of the floor, so basically I had everything that was just gear on this mattress, which is all out of the floor. World War One stuff where I'm standing, the World War One stuff was here. Soviet, miscellaneous, World War Two, and then anything important right there. So I didn't have any space to maneuver, but I'll start out with these posters. So we've got Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewman, which I'm gonna switch this poster out for the SEAL poster. The only reason why is that eyeball that got there somehow. I don't know where that came from. This military poster that's got cool Air Force dude on it. And this awesome thing, which is a newspaper clipping from June 6th, 1944, which is the day the Normandy invasion started, I believe. So that's a cool little history thing to have. But then starting on this shelf, we've got this tank made out of bullet casings, which is a cool little metal thing. This very, very large book on Chernobyl. Collector's Guide and a pith helmet, which I love these things, they're awesome. The industrial GP5 hose and filter. This is the Polish MC1 and some, I believe these are, no, these aren't the binoculars I'm thinking of. I don't know what ones these are. GP6, Finish M61, grenade. Don't worry, it's safe. Probably a chemical agent detector, which is, two of them, those are pretty cool. Soviet weapons guide thing from, I believe this is American military actually. Yeah, that says Fort Knox, Kentucky. I'd say that's American military. Some things that I haven't read through yet, but I'm going to. Polish SR1, which is a head wound mask, which you can actually wear glasses in it, some goggles, plug, GP5, you should probably put something in this to fill it out. You've got the Czech M10M, which poorly designed mask, but they stole it from the Americans, so I'm gonna say that they're idiots for stealing that design. box for some really cool cardboard box for some goggles that you'll see later on. Inside, we have a pink cloth and nothing else except for oxygen and other atmosphere. Israeli civilian with American filter that would normally be on an M40 series mask, I believe. Some custom lenses I made with literally just plastic dividers for a binder. Another plug. Decontamination packets. Thing on Trinity site. Thing on American Museum of Atomic Energy. Instruction guide for this thing, which is not a Geiger counter, despite what you may think. Though I call it a Geiger counter because that pretty much is what it is. It's a Landers, Curry, and Clark radiological survey meter, which probably doesn't work, given that it measured some pretty severe radiation once, when there was nothing there. But it's cool, and I mean, I could use it for cosplay, I guess. German M65 and another plug, which this is the plug for the this filter, so I don't know why that's down there. Then we have an MRE way in the back, respirator, Scott ProMask 40 respirator, container for this thing. That's the straps for this. Israeli M15, something about landmines. Then moving over this way, you've got the aforementioned goggles along with my proper aviation helmet, which is Soviet. I can assume this is an ashtray, but I'm not certain. But it's kind of cool. Big bullet, med kit, first aid kit, reproduction helmet, actual Soviet mask, which that looks terrifying. I wish I hadn't done that. That's just, yeah, I'll get that thing will sort of flop back into place eventually. So that's a really cool mask. But then going down, we've got the spyglass I mentioned earlier. That's probably not good. This little guy who's wounded in the war, but cool thing is he can actually walk. So that's a nice little thing. Infantry drill regulations, service songbook. Then this is my great-grandfather's helmet. This isn't his mask. This mask belonged to Lester Joseph Lafray. Container for my latest sheets mask, which W Cross 1117, which is where I got the name Wickrus from. And this is Wickrus. He's my baby. He is adorable. If you say he is ugly, I will hurt you. But yeah, he's cool. He's got one long strand of hair that fortunately broke on the side. Don't fall, Wickrus. History of the 29th Division, which is where my great-grandfather was, and this is his journal. This is another portrait of him, some dog tags, and a commemorative Colt 45 automatic. Then down here we have M1 Garand bayonet, some badges and stuff. This Purple Heart, I believe it is. No expert on badges. Then we have individual protective cover here, which this is the 1944 version. I'm trying to buy another one of those so I can have one that I can actually display open as well. And I mean, they're pretty cheap, like $10, $20, so I may be able to get one pretty quickly. This is a M1A2 civilian version, which I'm gonna pull these ones out so you can actually see them in better lighting. So this one looks a bit like a horse head when you think about it. You're not going to be able to unsee that. It's a cool one. There's actually an M1A2 that's the military version as well, which is a bit confusing. We're not actually sure what this is, but we believe it's a Dust Bowl respirator, possibly coal mine respirator, based on material and just aging, estimate 30s to 40s. German GM30, which, if I can get this, on the inside, you can kind of see that, Artilleria Inspección del Estado, I probably butchered the pronunciation. But this is the GM30, one of the GM30s that Hitler's Third Reich gave to the Spanish rebels in the Spanish Civil War. And funny thing about this is not a filter. Some idiot ripped out the internal workings of this mask, hot glued in some leather, and shoved in a lawnmower muffler. And I love it, and I'm not removing it because it is hilarious. I still think they're an idiot, though. Anyway, Glenn Miller Army Air Force Band, which if we had a record player, I'd be listening to this non-stop. Another grenade. Case for some binoculars that are down on the bottom shelf, and you'll see in a moment. And I believe this is an M1 helmet, but I'm not sure. And where does this cobweb come from? I thought we removed this. I guess we didn't. Anyway, the most idiotic gas mask ever designed that the Czechs are idiots because they stole the design. The M17. Technically M17A1 because it's got the resuscitation tube in it, which, I mean, you can see entryway thing for that right there. It's just, I'm not going to go on a rant about cheap filter masks in this, but it's just really, really not well designed. Cool looking though, I'll give them that, especially the PBF, which is the Soviet version. Here we have a M9A1, which only difference between this and the actual M9, I believe, is just the bag. I don't know why it's weird, but here we have more stuff. This thing and the group tank thing my grandfather was with. I think he's the guy holding the flag, but I'm not certain. Anyway, down on this bottom shelf, we have the binoculars, which are spotter's binoculars. I believe they've got like a thing, graph thing in them, canteen, patch thing, some stuff, helmet, these things, and some more goggles. And then, not strictly military, but fake hand, and a windshield wiper. Got this gift in 6th grade from a friend. Not the worst thing this guy did, to be honest. I gotta think if there's anything else. Here we got this little chest over here, but I've covered my entire military collection. Not the whole history, of course. I'll save that to another video, but we've got a collection that ranges from given authentic stuff from about, I'd say 1916 to 2017. Let's say that. Of course, if you count the Plague Doctor mask, it goes back to, I guess that would be the 16th century version of the mask. So that would be 1500s, I guess. So, we got a nice collection.